This weekend is actually 2 weekends in one. I wasn't in the best of moods last weekend. It was a certain time of month and it meant that I kind of sulked around the house. Didn't film too much and didn't get too much done. So, feeling a lot better this week. We have a few things happening at the house today. The boys are just loading up the back of the van. If you saw my last video, we were ripping down the chimney breasts, and then it was very fun to learn that you take down a chimney breast, but then you have to rebuild it to 2 bricks either side. This is because if the neighbor was doing anything to their side of the chimney breast, it would affect the wall structurally. So for one of them, we had to brick up the entirety of that wall after just knocking it down, so you effectively get rid of 1 or 2 bricks. Still worth it. The wall's going to be flush and it was the right thing to do. It was just a little bit of extra work we weren't expecting, especially when we were so convinced that a plasterer would be in soon, which is not happening anymore. It's been pushed a couple of weeks, but that's fine. All right, gonna head there now. I think I'm driving. Tom's not feeling too well. We're really taking turns being in bad moods, but I'll see you at the house.
We're Tom and Autumn. At the beginning of this year, we quit our jobs to work on our street food business full time. And when we weren't working during the summer, planned to travel the world. We bought our tickets to India, packed up our house, and then I think we all know what happened next. With the repeated lockdown and the virus spreading across the world, we started to get the idea that we wouldn't be able to go anywhere soon, and decided to use our savings to buy a little house that needed a lot of work instead. This is our Victorian renovation story.
There's no more structural work happening, so we have a hell of a lot of cleaning to do, but we've got a secret weapon that I'm really excited about. One of our friends is a structural engineer and he's currently working on kind of big apartment building projects in London, and he has this. It is some sort of professional hoover which is used to clean up concrete rubble, so it's super hard wearing, it's really powerful, and I get to use it. I'm excited. And we bought just the tools for all of that and some fruit pastels. I've just been shut out. So we've got our toolkit, now for an action plan. So far we've been getting the shovel, shoveling the dirt into there, and then emptying that into a bigger bin in the van. But there's a fair bit to do. It's happening.
It's time. Just gonna think there's just gonna be a massive spark. Beastie plug.
Ah! Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god, it's so good!
Where's
Oh my god. Whoa! This is where we've got to so far. You can see the vast colour difference between pre and post hoover, which is so satisfying. If you ever had a Henry Hoover in your dorm room, that's old news. It's all about these. Here's the loft so far. So you'll come up the stairs, this area will be the landing bit. Through there will be our dressing room, going to have wardrobes down each side. And then here you'll turn, and just here, wall will be about here, I think. This will be the master bedroom. You can see where the 2 Velux windows are going to go. A little bit extra this side because we want chest of drawers for PJs or whatever kind of stuff you want when you can't be bothered to walk into that room after your shower. And then if I come into this room and you turn, this area here will be our bathroom. So we've got a lovely full length window, which will be frosted of course, and that is where the shower is going to go. Still haven't decided between an ensuite and a separate bathroom, but that decision will need to come soon.
So I had a go at removing some of this and very quickly started to destroy the wall. So we've stopped with that. Also the garden we worked so hard on is now filthy. And those tiles we spent so much on are broken on the floor. So that's fun. And then in terms of rebuilding the chimney breast, this is what's been done so far. Sorry to any builders who are seeing this, you probably feel like you're going to throw up. But ultimately we just have to get something back in there cemented so that things can all get held up, and we're supporting that single brick for the other neighbour's side. So initially when we started on that chimney breast, we were literally chopping bricks in half with a... don't know what that's called, but chopping bricks in half and then cementing them, putting them in. The problem with chopping bricks in half with, I don't know, some hard tool, so they don't slice that well given the equipment we have access to. So it's almost like a giant game of Jenga where you have to find a brick, see if it fits, see if it doesn't come too far out the wall, because of course we do need to put plasterboard and insulation and all that stuff, so it needs to be pretty flush. And maybe me describing it as a giant game of Jenga sounds fun. It was not fun. This was the point at which I threw a bit of a strop, but we read up about it and we found that the alternative is to get some mesh, and you can use concrete and then place the mesh and almost build layers on top. So we think theoretically this should be a less labor intensive, less horrible job, but we're going to give it a go. We've got the trusty concrete mixer, a bit of equipment that I don't think most people have, which is great. We've been able to borrow that from someone, and we're going to give it a go. I think the broken up brick method, it's worked pretty well so far. It's pretty much done. The issue is that we have 3.5 more to do. So maybe not the most time efficient way of doing it, but I could be wrong. We could start on the concrete and that takes just as long, but at least we would have given it a crack. We'll start on that now. I say this as though I'm playing any part in this. It's all Martin and Tom who are discovering what to do and how to do it, and ultimately the ones executing it, but I'm just relaying what they say. But I guess they'll be getting cracking on that now.
Have you got wire? Tie wire? No.
That's the sound of no.
That's no.
We could improvise, we could improvise.
Let's concrete them together. Cement them together.
Have you got cable ties?
No, not on me.
So the plan here is, instead of bricking it up like last time, we're putting this mesh down and what, just chucking concrete in.
Pretty much.
Hoping for the best.
Plaster.
The boys are down there trying to use a strong boy to prop up the bricks, and the bricks stop the mesh, and the mesh is where the concrete goes down. The goal effectively is to get the concrete in between the wall and the mesh. The mesh stops the concrete and makes almost like a fake, you know, wall. Then you remove the mesh at the end and you've got a concreted wall. It's a trial, it's a trial. We'll also have a plasterer coming at some point today, and he might take one look at this and just say absolutely not, but we'll see what happens. More. Oh. Too much.
Oh! There's not one on there,
Am I covered in it?
Yeah.
Okay, the cement spat at us.
Alright, let that knit.
There we go.
Well, do you think we should brick it up?
Let's give this a go first.
Yes. Well, what do you want to...
So that didn't work at all, but we tried. I think we're gonna have to brick it up. We had just had the plaster around, as well as Martin's friend, and they agreed it wouldn't work either, which is painful. The mesh was a very short-lived project, and we're back to brick. It's weekend 2, 1 chimney done, 1 chimney a quarter done, and 2 more to go. Still moving in 3 weeks, yeah? A very abrupt end to today. Got a beer. Unfortunately, Tom's driving, he can't have one yet, but we'll be wrapping up tonight with a few beers, a good night's sleep. A lot has been done, but more bricking up the fireplaces tomorrow. The fun never ends round here. How did you find today, Tom?
It was great. I've never been on live television before. Apparently, I was bricking up the chimney and I was scared half to death.
Apparently, when you knock down a chimney, you have to brick it up again. No one told us this.
But apparently, it will be great in the end when the house is done.